Quitting the NFL was the smartest career move Louis Rees-Zammit ever made. That sounds insane, doesn't it? He went through the league's international player pathway, signed with the Jaguars, and had a shot at making a roster. But here's what most people miss. He never played a single regular season NFL game. To the casual fan, it looks like he gave up before he even started. But this wasn't a failed attempt. It was a masterclass in brand strategy. He used the NFL's massive platform, its billions in revenue and global reach, to boost his own name. Now he's heading back to rugby, not as a failed experiment, but as an international star with more leverage than ever. By looking at his preseason journey and the media buzz he generated, you'll see exactly how he turned a brief NFL stint into a strategic win. To understand why he'd walk away, you have to first understand what he was walking away from. Louis Rees-Zammit was never just another rugby player. By the time he entered the NFL's International Player Pathway program, he was already a sensation in his home country of Wales, a try-scoring machine who had helped his team win the 2021 Six Nations Championship, one of the most prestigious titles in Northern Hemisphere rugby. He had also earned a spot on the 2021 British and Irish Lions Tour, a rare honor reserved for the best players from England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. All of this, and he was still younger than most NFL rookies. He put that entire career on hold to chase a new challenge through the NFL's International Player Pathway, a program that looks like a golden ticket from the outside. In reality, it's more of a long shot. The pathway is designed to give international athletes resources, coaching, and a chance to develop, but very few ever make it onto an active NFL roster. Most participants never get past the practice squads, and their names fade from the headlines almost as quickly as they appear. Rees-Zammit's journey through the program was anything but typical. He started with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team fresh off a Super Bowl win. He even made it into 3 preseason games, catching one pass for 3 yards, a tiny stat line that highlights just how steep the learning curve was. After being cut by the Chiefs, he landed with the Jacksonville Jaguars, not on the main roster, but as a practice squad player with a special roster exemption. This meant he didn't count against the Jaguars' practice squad limit, a sign that he was there to develop rather than compete for a starting job right away. This roster exemption told a clear story. Rees-Zammit was a project. He was learning a new sport from the ground up, studying playbooks, mastering new terminology, and adapting to a completely different style of play. He wasn't on the field during regular season games, and that was never really the expectation. The International Player Pathway is built for patience, not immediate results. For most players, including Rees-Zammit, the process is about slow progress, not instant stardom. Still, the public and media couldn't resist the drama. Every headline painted him as the rugby prodigy trying to conquer American football. Was he a future NFL star, or was this just a publicity stunt? The narrative was set up for his exit to look like a defeat, but the crucial detail most people missed: he was never supposed to play in a regular season game this year. His development was right on schedule, even if the box score said otherwise. So while the world watched for a breakthrough on the field, something else was happening behind the scenes. The real story wasn't about touchdowns or tackles, it was about what he was building off the field, something far more valuable than a roster spot. He left for the NFL with a salary far below his rugby potential. So how did he come back with more negotiating power and a higher price tag than ever before? It comes down to one thing. He used the NFL's massive media reach as his own personal marketing agency. The NFL isn't just a sports league, it's a media powerhouse. Its reach overshadows every professional rugby league in the world, offering exposure that simply isn't possible in Europe. The NFL's social media presence on a single platform easily surpasses the combined following of the top 5 rugby leagues. That's the scale Louis Rees-Zammit stepped into. As a practice squad player, his weekly paycheck was a fraction of what he could have earned as a star rugby winger. On paper, the financial logic didn't add up. He was taking a pay cut to chase a dream with long odds. But while Rees-Zammit wasn't making highlight reels on Sundays, he was making moves where it mattered. Every news report, every social media post, and every training camp highlight came with the same label: the rugby star trying to make it in the NFL. He was never just another developmental player. He was a story. First, he was linked to the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions. Then he joined the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team with strong ties to the UK market. This put his name in front of millions of American sports fans who had never heard of Welsh rugby or its top winger. The Jaguars didn't just sign him to a regular practice squad spot. Under the International Player Pathway program, they gave him a special exemption, an extra slot outside the normal squad limit. This meant he could develop without competing for a 53-man roster place, but it also kept him in the headlines, fueling the narrative that he was a unique prospect. If you tracked his social media following or Google search trends after he joined the Jaguars, you'd see a sharp spike, especially in the US. That's concrete proof of his growing brand visibility. The media mentions exploded, and suddenly he wasn't just an athlete, he was a global narrative, a human interest story that the NFL's media machine thrives on. Every training camp report, every preseason snap built his global brand identity. None of this was by accident. It was a calculated move to use the NFL's platform to boost his personal brand equity. The real payoff was never about an NFL contract. The true prize was exposure. He used the league's enormous platform to transform himself from a Welsh rugby hero into a recognized international athlete. That new level of recognition is a powerful asset he now brings to the negotiating table with rugby clubs worldwide. He didn't just walk away with a bigger profile, he walked away with leverage, and that leverage is about to pay off in ways that go far beyond a standard player contract. This is the moment rugby clubs start doing the math. Rees-Zammit's value isn't just about his speed or his finishing ability anymore. It's about what he brings to the business side of the sport. Before his NFL experiment, he was already one of the most exciting rugby players in Europe, a Six Nations champion with 32 caps for Wales. That's not just a resume, it's proof he's a world-class performer, someone who can deliver on the biggest stage. That baseline talent is what every club wants. But now, he's returning with something even rarer, international fame that stretches far beyond the rugby world. But for Welsh fans hoping for a fairy tale homecoming, the reality is tough. The Welsh Rugby Union is facing a financial crisis so severe that it's debating whether to reduce the number of professional teams from 4 to as few as 2 or 3. That kind of uncertainty makes it nearly impossible for a Welsh club to put together a competitive offer. As Alex Cuthbert, a former Wales winger, put it, not in a million years is he going to come to Wales. Even if the WRU wanted him, they simply can't match the numbers now in play. France's top 14 league, with its reputation for massive salaries, might seem like the obvious next step, but rugby legend Jonathan Davis has warned that a move there could backfire. The style of play, the pressure, and even the culture off the field don't always suit British players. Davis has pointed to the experiences of others like Owen Farrell as cautionary tales. Instead, Davis singled out English clubs like Bath and Bristol as prime landing spots. These teams have financial stability, modern facilities, and the commercial ambition to tap into Rees-Zammit's new global reach. They're not just looking for a winger, they're looking for a marketing phenomenon. The money on the table reflects that. Rees-Zammit's agent is expected to demand a salary that only a handful of clubs can afford. And for those teams, the payoff isn't just on the scoreboard. Signing him means a surge in jersey sales, increased ticket demand, and new sponsorship deals, especially from American brands now aware of his name. The BBC reports that Japan and France are where the biggest rugby salaries are found, but the English Premiership clubs like Bath and Bristol offer the right mix of money, ambition, and visibility. There's another factor making him even more attractive to these clubs: his 32 Welsh caps. Under the WRU's current policy, that means he can play abroad and still be eligible for the national team. For clubs in England or France, this removes the risk of losing him to international duty restrictions. They get a player who can compete at the highest club level and still represent his country, a rare and valuable combination. So the negotiations aren't just about rugby. They're about who can turn Rees-Zammit into a global brand ambassador. The contract he signs will be more than just a wage. It'll be a commercial partnership, a statement that the club is thinking bigger than the next match. It's a new kind of deal for a new kind of athlete. This is what happens when you use the world's biggest sports league as your launchpad. Rees-Zammit's journey shows what modern athletic strategy looks like. He didn't just chase a dream, he turned a calculated risk into real-world leverage. Industry experts say it best: athletes are no longer just players, they are brands, businesses, and strategic decision makers. His story proves that the new playbook isn't just about winning games, but about building long-term value by choosing the right platforms. Now I want to hear from you. What's the most strategic athlete pivot you've seen in recent years? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's see which career move you think changed the game.